My friends, hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. I just wanted to jump in here and kind of make a video of where and what I see AMC doing this upcoming week. Pretty much called it to a T last week. I thought we would trade relatively flat and sideways the entire time, and that's pretty much what happened. We got the gap fill, which is awesome. We got that out of the way. And honestly, we got the gap fill done pretty much in the exact way I would have wanted done, which we'll jump into that here in just a second. So all that to say this, my personal belief and conviction for AMC is that I think for right now, you guys know the deal. I have to say this. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only. And that's true because just like I tweeted out, if you don't follow me on Twitter, please feel free to do that. Colin_Gladman. That's where you get more intraday updates. I'll do post some charts there, things of that nature. But I will say this. I think the bottom is probably in for AMC. If not, I think it's super close. I have tried all weekend when I'm pulling up and I'm looking at my charts. I have tried to come up with any reasonable scenario where I think AMC might go down below 1450, and honestly, I just can't. Not without just something absolutely crazy happening, which I don't see right now. I'm a believer that I think a relief bounce is coming. I think with that relief bounce, I think AMC is going to rebound with it. And so I think we might consolidate a little bit, in this trading range. But overall, I think the bottom is in, even if we go back and kind of retest the 1650 area, which is definitely a scenario. But I really just don't see anything below like 1450. So, but overall, my bias and my opinion is I think the bottom's probably in. So, real quick, I want to address what I pinned on my tweet, which is basically I don't care what you do with your position. Let me say that again. I just don't care what you do with your position. Everybody needs to have a plan. And if your plan doesn't work out, you need to be accountable to your plan. If your plan does work out, then fantastic. You need to be accountable for that too, and you deserve credit for that. So you deserve credit if your plan plays out, and you deserve credit, you deserve the consequences if your plan doesn't play out, just like me. So at the end of the day, I don't care what you do with your position. I am here to tweet out and make videos on kind of what I do with my position and where I see, the price action of AMC headed. So I said I'm all about helping and education. That remains true. That will always remain true. So you do you. And let the chips fall where they may. But if you just go, oh, I'm just going to listen to what Colin says, or I'm just going to listen to what Trey says, or I'm just going to listen to what Dave says, or I'm just going to listen to what Rico says, or I'm going to listen to what Lou says, any of those guys, any of the people who make videos or content for AMC, I think that's foolish. I think you need to educate yourself more. And if you like my idea, it needs to be because you can actually, see it on the chart and everything along those lines, and it makes sense to you. But at the end of the day, hold yourself accountable. I saw somebody tweeting at another person that, and it literally said, you have cost people so much money. And that is just crazy talk, people. Nobody cost you money but yourself. That is just beyond stupid. So anyway, I've pinned it. I really don't want to talk about it. I'm not about drama. I'm all about education, helping, and chart analysis. And so what do you say? Let's do that. So first things first, let's talk about the SPY here real quick. So I highly recommend going and watching some of Dave Marino Jr.'s videos. He does a great job analyzing other charts and everything like that. And we've been talking about how we're in the descending wedge on AMC. But man, if you look at the SPY, it has been in a rising wedge with decreasing volume, and it's starting to break out. Do I necessarily think, a market crash is going to happen? Honestly, I don't know that I think that's going to happen. Do I think a market correction is coming? Yeah. Yeah, I do think that is going to be coming. So, but like I said, you can see, we have just been moving, and we have been just making all-time high after all-time high. Volume has been lackluster. The overall, the selling volume is by far and away the biggest candles in here. And like I said, now we're starting to break down out of this wedge. However, I am a contrarian trader, guys, which just basically kind of means that, when everybody thinks, oh, we're going to go left, I kind of think we might go right sometimes. So that's why I'm saying everybody is just saying like, Black Monday is here essentially, and just, brace yourself. We are going to be, crashing, all this other kind of stuff. And, it's definitely a possibility, but I don't know that I believe that. I think we see a relief bounce more than anything. So let's jump into the chart here. Looking at AMC, we are in this big time falling wedge. And overall, once again, this is a bullish pattern for a reversal. Okay, I made another video where it talks about how to play a falling wedge, and how most people play it is it's going to be, obviously they enter in once the wedge breaks out, and then what they do is once you kind of get back to the top of the trading range, that's where most people take profit. And so having said that, that would kind of bring us back up into the $40 range. So I think we see up in the 40s before we see, anything that's down like here in the nines or anything along those lines. I'm not convinced in any way, shape, or form that AMC's ever going back to that. So when it comes to looking at the chart right now, we traded pretty much flat to sideways. In fact, where did we start last week? So Monday of last week would have been, so in that $20 range. And then we, like I said, I kind of thought we would just zigzag right here, and that's pretty much what happened. Like I said, we got the gap fill. I have been buying all the way at all the supports that I said that I would. So the first place I bought more was at the top of the January peak, and then I said I would load the boat on the gap fill, and that is what I did. And then the next big place I would be looking to add more is if we did come down to that, kind of 1450 range, then that would be where I am going to be buying more. But that's the most likely downside, is the 1450 range. But I think we're going to see some kind of consolidating in here, and then kind of like we talked about. So this move right here, in fact, let me just do this real quick. So let me show you why a perfect falling wedge played out. So if we go back here, let me get rid of that one and get rid of that one for the time being. Get rid of you too. Okay, so after we had the big run in June, we did this move right here. So once again, we played out another descending wedge. Okay, so where did the downside start? The downside started right about here, right around this $50 range. Okay, descending wedge. We had the breakout, and where did it come back to? We came all the way back up to the 52, pretty much up to the top of where the wedge started. A perfect example of how lots of people, and a perfect example of how the TA played out exactly like a typical falling wedge would play out. Okay, obviously this took a little bit of time. We're kind of right in here, June all the way down to August the 11th is when it kind of started. And then from August 11th, and that took about a month. So it was about 2 months descending, 1 month back up, and then we started coming back down again. So this one is a big time falling wedge on the way down. Let's see here. From the time we really started moving down, we'll just go from here. So call it November the 18th. We are at, 64 days, 43 bars, 64 total days. So essentially, 2 months down. So that's pretty much what happened here, right? Isn't that what I just said? Hold on. Sorry. Let me do this. Oh, no. That was about 43 days. Okay. So I'm kind of anticipating we start, grinding and moving back up. Especially, I think we could be in for a nice week. And when I say a nice week, I think we can move, back up towards the, kind of the $25 range, maybe even all the way up to the $28 range potentially, especially if we kind of get the relief bounce in the overall market. So like I said, all anybody is doing is buy puts, the market's crashing, death is upon us essentially. And so I don't know. I do think, if you go back and you look, and if you look at Elliott wave, there's ABC corrections. And so I do think we've kind of done an A wave down. I think we'll make a B wave that's going to be a little bit higher, a little bit of a relief bounce, getting the SPY back up to maybe like the 460, 475 area. I do think it'll probably make a lower high. So I don't think we'll make it back to all-time highs, but I do think we will have a nice little relief bounce before we kind of, roll back over. Pretty much, look at this right here. So we shot down hard. We had a big old relief bounce before we started heading back down. I think that's what we're about to see, SPY related. Only time will tell, obviously, but when it comes to right here, we had a very nice candle. Let's see here. Let me get in here a little bit closer. On the day, on Friday for AMC, overall from the bottom, up to the top was about a 15%, 14.28%. Well, I guess I didn't quite hit the bottom. So, yeah, pretty much 15% days, worth of movement from the time that we filled the gap to the top. And then we kind of had a little bit of a sell-off, towards the end of the day. Once again, that's going to be people, like it or not, day trading, taking profits, things of that nature. I'm not surprised at all that we saw a sell-off towards the end of the day. But we did get a bullish hammer candle reversal pattern. We had decent volume. We had 65 million volume. I tweeted out, I'm hopeful that I'm not positive, but I'm hopeful the reversal has started. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more volume. Let's get in here let's go to the 15-minute kind of look and see what happened here. So, we had the big push down, we had the gap fill. So I would have liked to have seen overall, which, to an extent, I guess you do. Once we really started kind of moving back up, the volume definitely started increasing. But overall, I would have liked to have seen bulls jump in a little bit more. And I think we probably would have if the overall market wasn't so awful. The overall market on Friday was just selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure. So both GameStop and AMC, to me, held up very well as far as what the overall market was doing. Everybody kind of saw a relief bounce in the morning, and then pretty much everything else just sold off through the end of the day. And we had a little bit of a sell-off, but overall I was very happy with how much of our gains and our rebound that we held. So when going back to, let me look at the 4 hour. I didn't even look at that. So yeah, that looks good. Look at the 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay, so these could be some morning star candles, but man, volume looks good. So guys, follow Trey on Twitter, square root of 9. He's been tracking it really well. Right now, he kind of thinks we might sort of roll over, touch 1650 one more time to kind of give us that double bottom and then move up from there. And honestly, that'd be fine if that happens. I don't know that I think that's going to happen. I think we might just see, a continuation of this move back here. Obviously, there's always going to be pullbacks along the way. But overall, I think we'll be able to zoom out of this moment and be able to see, man, that really was the bottom area, and we had some nice solid uptrends going from there. So going back to the daily, so once again, good little bullish reversal candle. Like I said, I think we're going to see, something of kind of like a little bit of consolidating and moving, on up out of here. We'll just kind of, be doing one of these all over the place, to get out of here. But I don't think we're about to just, when I say a reversal starting, I definitely am not saying any type of moonshotting or anything along those lines. But at the end of the day, the more the overall market rebounds, I think it'll definitely help AMC. Those of you guys that follow, crypto and, Bitcoin has a tendency of selling off before any type of big AMC runs. And man, did it sell off hard here recently. I'm looking at it right now. So right now we're at 35. So it's definitely recovering a little bit, but I mean, it's down 30% in the past month. If you look on Bitcoin, it reached a high of 62,000, and then before the it basically dropped about 40% before the big run in June. So then we reached the high of the 66,000. I think it even actually went all the way up to like 69,000, and then now we're down at 35. So it's lost a ton of value. So like I said, overall to me, there's lots of reasons to believe and think that a reversal is starting. That is my personal belief and conviction. I believe we are starting to reverse on AMC. If we look at, some of the fib retracements, so that's going to be, if we look at the June run, I think I just had this one up. Yep, it is. So we finished just above the 786. We went just below it, rebounded nicely. So we are just above the 786, which we've talked about before. AMC loves 786 retracements. And so we are going to be, we've hit it on just about every single run. Let's see, where are we at from this low right here. So yeah, we are below the 0.5, and it's been rejected off the 0.5. So, right here, even if we did come down to the 618, the 1430, that wouldn't be surprising to me, but I'm very curious this next week or two to see how AMC reacted to what happened last week. In my personal opinion, that is going to be very telling of, what the short-term future is going to be. My long-term future with AMC is obviously I'm incredibly bullish. So as far as I'm looking at it, these are all just great times to buy. I personally believe AMC will eventually see up into the hundreds at a minimum. So like I said, if you told me today I can buy something for $17 that eventually is going to be, up in the 150 to 200s, I personally think we'll see at least the 3.618. So that's like around 250. I mean, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's a great buy. That's how I'm looking at it as an investor, but you need to do, your own homework and do whatever you think is best. So, and once again, how that is being based. So don't want you to just think this is just nonsense. Let me show you exactly how I am coming up with the number that I'm coming up with, and it's how I always have. It's been what I've been tweeting out for months and months and months. You take the Fibonacci retracement, you go from the low to the high. Oops, let's use the right tool here, Colin. Let's start with that. So the fib trend base extension. Good lord. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from the bottom, we're going to go to the top, and then we go to the next bottom, and look at that. The 3.618 almost predicted the top perfectly at the 72.26. So you do the same thing. Go right here. We go from the absolute bottom, the buy button collapse, to the absolute top. If we come over here, and assuming this is the bottom, we don't know that, but assuming that it is, then that gets us a target of about 265. So once again, I think AMC is eventually going to, see that number. That's my personal belief. But even if you don't believe in any type of squeezes or gamma ramps or anything along those lines, um, my personal opinion is even fundamentally now AMC is undervalued. For me, I think at a minimum we're going to be seeing up in the 40s again. So once again, if I think I'm going to see up in the 40s again, why would I not buy at $16 like I did? So even if you don't think anything's going to squeeze again or anything along those lines, I think we'll see a minimum of that. So overall, here's what I think is going to happen this week. I think it 100% boils down to the overall market. If the overall market starts to, we get a little bit of a healthy rebound, I think futures, I haven't even looked at futures yet. Let me look at futures real quick. So, if they're looking real good, so, it's like plus 135 on the Dow. S&P is plus 22, NASDAQ plus 100. So, we could be seeing a nice little relief bounce tomorrow. I think they said that Powell talks on Wednesday, so that would be keeping an eye on that. If you look at, once again, the indicators that we pretty much always look at, let's pull up the RSI. So, this one here to me is just crazy. So, once again, the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is telling you whether or not the stock is oversold or overbought. When it's in this purple region right here, that's kind of in its normal ranges. So 50 is in normal. Anything above 50 is you're starting to get into the the overbought territory. Anything below 50 is going to be getting into the oversold territory. And you can see we are well below that right now. We are at 23. So AMC is more oversold now than it was when it was trading at, the $1.90 before the January run. So it is just massively oversold. It looks like the only time we've even hit lower is on the COVID collapse, and then right here back in October of 2020. So we are due. We are definitely due. To push us down to 1450, that's going to be getting that RSI all the way down here, like maybe even in the $17 range or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. I just don't see that happening. I don't see the, to get us down to $9. It would be so oversold at that point in time. I just don't see that happening. Once again, that's my personal opinion. I think we are about to see some good solid, reversing. I think this RSI is going to get back up here into neutral. We really start pushing, it'll eventually get into the overbought territory, and that's when pullback happens, so on and so forth. Let's see here. Let's look at, so like the RSI is one of my big reasons that I think we're going to see some reversal and some relief bounce. And it's just so drastically oversold on nothing. Yeah, Omicron, showed up and everything along those lines. But, the Batman is about to come out. You got Top Gun 2 coming out. You got Doctor Strange coming out. And so, it's just, AMC is about to keep making a whole lot of money. So I don't get it. Let's look at the EMAs here real quick. So, yeah, we're well below, all the EMAs. So once again, we got to start recovering some of those. Let's look at the MACD. Okay. Now this is kind of a good sign here. So, well, maybe not if I zoom in here a little bit more. It's not bad by any means, but the MACD indicator is starting to curl up a little bit. And so, if this blue line, keeps curling up past the orange line, once again, that's going to be indicating reversal territory. So that looks good. Let's see here. And once again, everybody's favorite. Oh, I wanted to pull up on Twitter. Oh man, I'm not even going to be able to remember who it was now. But I wanted to pull up. Okay, scoot back here just a little bit. Yeah, so once again, guys, the OBV is pretty flat. Once again, before the massive June run, it spiked up drastically, then stayed relatively flat, dipped. Look at this real quick. I never really looked at this. So, So, if you look at the January to June run, OBV was making a constant uptrend before it kind of figure eighted below or kind of ribbon below and then started the push up. So, well, again, doesn't necessarily mean anything other than once again, I always believe in stocks kind of having a personality and cycles and everything along those lines. And so, we could definitely be starting to see, this OBV right here, kind of rounding out and moving back up and pushing up. That wouldn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, once again, all these type of indications is why overall I think AMC is about to start reversing. Once again, that doesn't mean moonshot on Monday or anything along those lines, but it does mean I personally believe that the bottom is in or really close. I can't make any case that makes any sense below that 1450 area. So, like I said, I believe we're here. So, overall, dang it, I'm gonna try to find this. So, if you need to click off, click off. But it's my video, so I'm gonna make it. However, I won't make it. That's it right there. So, New Age Hippie on Twitter. I saw him tweet this out. Yeah, right here. So, shout out to him. But essentially, I didn't even like that. Sorry, New Age Hippie. Let me like that for you, buddy. So, what this is doing is it is essentially showing the difference between. I think if you're even remotely interested in the stock market, man, you've been following what's going on with like Peloton and everything like that, and it's crazy. But this is going to be the difference between. So this is what AMC looks like right now. So even though the price is just getting hammered, you can see right here that this yellow line that basically this is an indication that everybody is just virtually buying and holding. Obviously, you've got a little bit more buying, a little bit more selling, things of that nature. When you look at what an actual sell-off looks like with Peloton, you can see that it is drastically, the shares and everything like that, the OBV is drastically getting hammered as the price is getting hammered. That is not what is happening with AMC, and that's why it is that bullish divergence that we've been talking about. So I'm a real big visual learner. I thought he did a great job of basically showing visually, like, this is why I don't want to say the price is fake, because the price is what it is. If you go to sell your shares tomorrow, you're going to be selling them for like $18. But I do think this shows why the price is going to catch up. I see a minimum move once again. And when I say the near future, let's call it, somewhere around between May to June, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see just kind of, once again, just kind of a big maybe kind of round out and then just kind of grinding all the way back up to here, something that looks like that. It just isn't going to surprise me in any way, shape, or form. So once again, even if you take out, squeeze factors or anything like that, this chart very much says that AMC is going to be heading back at least to like that $40 range or so. And that's, to me, that says it sooner rather than later. Once again, unless a massive market wide crash happens or anything along those lines, I think there's a lot of reasons. There's way more reasons to be positive about the way AMC is about to go than negative. Somebody the other day was just like, well, it could go to $4, and I was like, bro, stop, just stop. If you're interested in being right and throwing out every possibility in the book, just say every single day, you know what? I think it's going to be anywhere between $0 to $1 million a share. And you'll get to be right every single day. The reality is anything is possible. 0 is possible. $1 million a share, in theory is possible. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. So sorry if that's what you're here for. I'm not here saying AMC is going to $1 million a share and, everybody's got lottery tickets. That's not my personal belief. So at the end of the day, though, is that possible? Of course it's possible. It's mathematically possible. So, like I said, I try to keep everything that I do here is realistic. The only price targets that I have ever talked about is what I believe I can prove on the chart. And the 3.618 extensions is what I believe that I can prove on the chart. And so, like I said, I'm going to, like I always do, I'm going to keep it realistic and practical. And I'm not going to tell you guys something that I can't show you on the chart. So overall, my belief is we're going to start to see some movement upwards this week. I think we'll get back into the 20s this week. I think we'll close in the 20s this week, possibly depending on what Powell says on Wednesday. But if I've already seen some tweets that like he's going to start backtracking a little bit, like, well, yeah, I know we said we were going to raise some interest rates, but it's not going to be as bad as everybody's acting or anything like that. So I actually think the next couple of weeks we could see a nice little bull rally, and not just AMC, but a lot of stocks are going to be rebounding with it. Tech is just massively oversold right now, and so I think there's lots of good plays out there, not just AMC. I'm going to be playing lots of different other plays with my scalping account other than just AMC. But overall, I am saying I believe the bottom is in. I'll say it. Is there a chance? And do I understand the case for 1450? 100%. Whether I be surprised by it at all? No. My personal opinion is we have seen the bottom, at least for the near future, and we are going to be rebounding. There's lots of things between Elliott Wave, Wyckoff analysis, yada, 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 yada. Everything that we do for TA. There's lots of reasons to think that we are going to see some solid reversal. And honestly, I would like to see a little bit of grinding here, kind of staying in these $50-60 million ranges and see a little bit of grinding here and kind of slowly move up. I don't want to, necessarily just wake up and go, oh, boom, this just, crazy moonshot. I want AMC to act, as a healthy stock that's moving in a healthy way. And so I think we might see a little bit of grinding here the next week or two towards the upside. The big area of resistance. Sorry, guys, I know I'm rambling on here. Get you out of here as soon as possible. Where is that extended line? Yeah, we'll just use this one. It's close enough, good enough. So this one, guys, though, is going to be the biggest key area. It's the one that we talked about, from where we thought we were maybe getting a nice little solid inverse head and shoulders right here, breaking out, that unfortunately broke down. So pushing back up, the first big resistance we're going to run into is going to be kind of in that $22 range. I really want there it is, this one right here. This one is going to be a biggie. So I would be okay with kind of some, not low volume, but like some $40-50 million ranges that start pushing us out this way. Once we get up here, though, in this $27-28 range, once we break this trend line that we've been following and respecting from the all-time high and down, that bad boy, I want to break with some solid volume, like some $150-200 million volume. I want to see that one break really solid. So overall, those are kind of the areas that I'm going to be watching for. So like I said, we've hit our 786 from the beginning of the June run. That's good. Indicators curling up. That's good. RSI massively oversold. That's good. There's just a lot of really solid reasons to be excited about the future. So let's go get it. Let's have a great week. I will see you guys in the morning. And at the end of the day, it's your position. Be smart about your position. Nobody tells me when to buy or sell or do anything with my position. I'm not going to tell you to do that. But be smart and freaking own it. Don't be these crybaby losers that want to blame other people for their problems. That is like the ultimate losers mindset as far as I'm concerned. The ultimate victimhood mindset. And that is a big problem with this world nowadays is everybody wants to be a victim. Nobody wants to take responsibility for their actions. And once again, I'm not talking to most of you guys. A lot of you guys are super cool. And once again, I wouldn't keep posting on Twitter or doing these type of videos if I didn't genuinely enjoy probably 95% or more of all the interactions that I have on Twitter. Most of you guys are super awesome. But you people that, think you can just, reach out and attack for no reason. I mean, man, you guys are the ultimate losers. The ultimate losers. So don't do that. Change your life. Be positive. Once again, you find what you're looking for. If you're looking for reasons to whine and cry and complain and be a victim and blame somebody else for your problems, you will find those. Just like if you're looking for reasons to be positive and educated, you can find those too. So you find what you're looking for, my friends. So do your thing, find good things. Let's kill it this week. Y'all have a good one.